Hello and welcome to the West Podcast, episode 10 on this lovely Thursday night. Joining me as usual is Coach Baker. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, Pappa. Thank you for having me again. It's fantastic to be here.
Lots to cover this week.
Yes, there is. And we got a lot to cover, and we don't have all the time in the world. I got to go get my beauty sleep, but more on that later.
Yes, I realise that. So we'll try and jump through some results and we'll have a bit of a chat about somebody's epic day on the weekend. And epic is probably a really good word to use, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes,
We got
yes, we will.
we might sneak in a quick guest if we can. We're going to talk about your huge day coming up tomorrow and a few other bits and pieces. So let's get cracking with the results, mate. Do you want to start us off?
I'm more than happy to. So we're going to take you back to the 4th of December, being the Saturday, I think it was. I may be mistaken. Or it could have been back on Wednesday. My days, it would have been, I reckon,
I'll tell
Wednesday.
you. Give me a minute. I'll look at my
Yeah.
calendar. It was a Wednesday, mate. Yes.
Yeah, it was a Wednesday. We had Dave Cowan. It's a different Cowan there. So the day went Cowan's 1 and 2. Dave Cowan on 43. These scores in the 40 on Wednesdays. I can't believe they keep happening. Followed immediately by Mooey Cowan, 42, and Mickey Eade. I can't believe he's still got double digit handicap with how many 40 pointers he's hitting lately. He come in third for the day. And if you have a look, if you went square through the card, that was good enough for 13th place, which was down at Roger. There is some fantastic golf happening down at the West at the moment, and that's a big testament to how much effort these volunteers are putting in down there. And we keep going on about it. Course is fantastic. Scores are reflecting that, and everyone's just having a brilliant time. That's all the feedback I'm getting.
Yeah. I mean, like you're right. The course is outstanding, but those scores are pretty outstanding too. It's 43, a 42, a 40, a 39. I mean, like you said, you don't get down to first person not to play to their handicap. I think is ninth.
Yeah,
So it's a bit unusual. Some very good scores. Very
yeah,
good
and
scores.
we'll swim along. We'll jump into the Saturday next. And we know a few people get this straight off the internet and they get it on the Facebooks. I'll give the ladies' results for Saturday and I'll let you touch on the men's results because I'm pretty sure you're itching to read those out.
Yep.
So for the ladies, first place on the Saturday 7th was Ruth, 37, only lady out there to go under the card, followed by Nons on 35, still a really good score. And 4 shots back from that was Wendy on 31. So the ladies were having a bit more of a hard time than the young fellas out there. But why don't you tell us about the men's scores that day, Papa? There was a bit going on, I hear.
There was lots going on. So I'm going to start. We're going to read the top three out, right? But we're going to reverse the top three. So third for A grade, we're going to do A grade first. So third for A grade, off 13 with 41 points was Russell Ward. Second, off 12 with 42 points was Shane Inglis, sorry.
What? So 42 points wasn't a win?
Wasn't good enough.
No, in A
What?
grade.
Wasn't even close.
Oh my god.
So leading and winning A grade on the 7th of December was yours truly, and I had 47 points.
And I
So
lead
for
with
those of you
75 off the stick.
for those of you that don't know, that day I played off 14 handicap off the whites. I shot one over on the front, which was a bit ridiculous, and then
Well, we can't let you delve into it too much, as I've got dogs going nuts in the background. Because we might swim back to that. But we'll go back to your round. I know you're itching to tell everyone,
oh,
but tell me about the B graders. Let's bring them into it.
B graders, massive scores again. So third, Nathan Smith off
Little Smithy, oh, I love
40
it.
points. 40 points. Second, Ralph Dransman with 41 points. And winning B grade was Stuart Charlesworth with 43 points. So
These
all
40 points. If you haven't got
yeah,
40 points, don't bother putting your card in.
nah. C grade. So third on account back was Jerry Shelley, 37. Second on account back was Clive Pringle with 37. And again, 40 points winning was Malcolm Prince.
Mate, I don't think you get a ball for going around level handicap.
You'd be you'd be pushing it uphill to get it, I reckon. Yeah, you're probably right.
I reckon you might be. I reckon you might be. Well, you're on a roll, though. I'd love to hear about what happened on the 8th of December.
So 8th of December.
That'll be the Sunday, the little 9 hole,
Sunday.
holes 1 to 9.
Yes. So we had, I just want to see how many players. We had 29 players, and it was the gold tees. So it was gold tee day, which is always good fun. Third, we'll go backwards again, with 20 points was your little boy, Ryan Baker.
Little Pipes, he had a bit of a day out there.
He's done well.
He didn't scratch one hole. I think it's the first time he's done it ever for a
And
9 hole
he
comp.
parred the 6, which is good.
Yeah, oh, he's a lucky golfer. Let's just go with he's a lucky boy.
Just take par, doesn't matter how it gets on the card. And then second with 21 points. Again, 21, not even good enough to win. Was Terry Smurf Selman with 21 points. So second spot, 21. Well done, Tez. Good round. Even though it was off the, this will be the only time Terry will be able to say he shot par. He's actually parred the front 9 off the golds. He's birdied the first, doubled the second, and then parred everything else and birdied the 8th. So he must have hit 2 good shots to get up the 8th. So
To be
well done,
fair,
Terry.
the gold tees definitely suit his height.
Shorten the course for a shorter man, you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, it doesn't hurt. He's a bit of a handy golfer. So I know we give him a little bit of stick, but he does get around very nicely.
He does,
Credit
yeah.
where credit's due.
Yes, agree. And the winner for the day on 22 points and shooting 2 over was Gareth Wilson. So very good score. Again, it's off the gold tees, but still a good score.
Yeah, I think the gold tees it really brings people's course management into play. I was lucky enough to go around with both my kids and Josh Grieve, who's now a friend of Zach Baker Golf Coaching. He's doing some good stuff. So I went round and I'm not playing. I'm saving myself for tomorrow, but more on that in a minute. And when you're on the outside looking in and you watch somebody like Josh who's pulling out driver when green's out of reach and it's bringing hazards into play, I go, you could lay up there. Like, obviously, I'm not caddying or coaching for him or anything on the day, but you just think to yourself, I'd be hitting like a hybrid layup and pitch on, and you go for glory, you're bringing water in, just extra danger when you kind of don't need to. And then I watch my kids, and like they need to hit driver, like off the
Yeah.
gold tees, it's pretty far. But and I think when you have a look at those scores and how everyone's done, it's probably no shock to see Bernie up there. Like, she can get around the course pretty nicely. Wellesley's a left-hander, so he doesn't count because he shoots on the wrong side of the ball, much like yourself.
Hey,
But yeah,
mate, like I keep telling you, we stand on the right side of the ball. You guys are all the ones that stand on the wrong side. We're on the right side.
uh, politically correct, we'll go with that. But yeah, I think it shows a lot of course management. Like, you went round there level par for the day, and Tommy Tommy went round level par off plus 11 with 4 birdies and an eagle. Like, and obviously Tommy being the club champ, you talk course management, he knows what's going on. He's picking the right clubs, and he played perfect handicap, but like a real fantastic card. He did that with 3 1-pointers. So
Mm.
realistically, he's probably still left shots out there.
Yeah, well, like you said, he shot, 6 under for the front 9. Yes, it's off gold, but still, you still got to get the ball in the hole, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, you do.
I'm playing off plus 10 point something, 10.72. So plus 11 for the day. And to shoot 18 points is good going.
Good going, definitely. And then following that, next comp day was the Tuesday, ladies 9 hole. They were using the My Score, which was awesome. I actually spoke with Ruth. I was excited to actually be able to see the scores. So a name that keeps popping up near the top, Susan Soulsby. She's doing some fantastic work out there. Second, Sue Dicker. She's playing off 54. I think that handicap's going to come in. She played a perfect 18 points. And then Ruth herself come in 17 points. Good going for the ladies. Like, they got 8 ladies for the day on a Tuesday, which which isn't bad numbers. You see that start to creep up, and I'm hoping to see a few more ladies, even some of the parents of some of the clinics that normally play on the weekend, come down and enjoy a Tuesday over the school holidays and get involved. And I'm gonna steal the spotlight here, and we're going to talk about the Wednesday comp played after that. We'll start with the A graders, and to be fair, we're going to start with the A graders because all of the B graders through until I think it's fifth place would have, if it was a single comp, would have been up there anyway. So James Martindale, that handicap, I remember reading out early podcast, it was pushing up near 30. He's still up there winning A grade comps with 38 points.
Yep.
Uh, Tied with Russell Ward, super handy golfer, on 38 as well. And Trev Corliss, he's a friend of the channel. He's doing some good stuff out there. He actually hails from Drummond Golf in Hoppers Crossing. He came in on 37, so good enough for a golf ball. And if we have a look over at B grade, I'm going to start backwards here. Bill Davies, he's been watching the grandkids at clinics, and he's picking up some pointers. He got 40 points. We're back up in the 40 points, Pappa.
Yeah.
They are coming. Johnny Apple's Orchard coming on 41. I guarantee he would have been sitting there going, I've got this in the bag. 41 points. I'm having a great day out. Now, first place, Josh Greaves from over at Rayner Real Estate. He's been coming to see me now for a couple of weeks. We've brought his handicap in. Now, keep in mind, he was hitting off 22 this day, off the whites. We have brought his handicap in from 22 to 16, and he actually had a big, about half hour, 40-minute putting lesson. That was the big takeaway from what I saw on Sunday with him. So we really nutted out putting. He was well over 20 putts on Sunday. He let me know he had 32 putts. I had this nice message pop up, and 45 points. 40, and it's no Pappa on a Saturday. I know.
No, but it's still 20. You're talking about a 22 handicapper who shot 6 over on the front, 7 over on the back. That's good goal.
So keep in mind, he's never broke 90.
And keep this in mind too, right? So what's he shot? 85, and he's doubled 8 and doubled 13. All right. Yep. He's parred nearly everything else and bogeyed everything else. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pars for a 22 handicap is good going.
He never had worse than a 2-pointer.
No, everything.
And like I say,
he's had a 4-pointer on 14. So he's parred 14.
We spoke about that too. He was holing long putts. He had 32 putts for the day, and for the first time broke 90, and didn't just break it. He smashed it. He went 85, and to get that feedback, and we talk about measurable items in coaching, and he had a goal to bring his handicap down to an A grade level within 3 months. I said, yeah, we could do it by the end of summer. We've done it by December. We're still in the month. So super proud to see that. So that's our results up until now. So when what are we, Thursday? So there is a Friday comp on tomorrow. But we touched on your results there, Pappa. Now we talk about 40 odd points. 45 on a Wednesday was pretty good. How do you go round? Keep in mind you've had how long off golf?
Yeah, 8 weeks. Yep.
8 weeks. So you're out of golf.
I'm thinking about having another 8 weeks off, if I'm honest, after shooting what I shot.
That is, that's definitely ridiculous. But let's talk through your round. Let's talk about the return of Pappa. I've titled this segment "Return of Pappa" because
Pappa.
I think we've spoken before. You'd broken 80 once, was it?
Around West, I've probably done it over the years.
I was recent times. So
I haven't broken since I've come back to golf. No, I have not broken 80. So I haven't. Closest I've got probably 81, and I think I did that in maybe this first round of the club champs last year. And that was the closest I've come. So to shoot 75 on Saturday was ridiculous. It really was. I mean,
no way, really? I read your card and I thought, no. Was Grego marking it? He had a few too many sherbets. Were you just calling out?
I had two other witnesses, and I was glad I had witnesses. Let me give you the tip, because if I had walked off that course and said I just shot 75, no one would have believed me.
So I almost want to go through, because I love a golfer's mentality. You get up to the 5th tee box. right? And it's a nice hole.
Yep.
Do you know you're square through 4 holes?
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
I've knocked it on regulation on 1, par, same on 2, par. Hit me tee shot in the trees really badly on 3. Had to smash out a 3-wood from under the trees. Somehow got it, hit me pitch quite close, made par again. I had it hit a horrible shot on 4, so big loopy hook. Nearly went in the water. I get up there, and this is important to tell, right? So I get up there, and the ball is sitting on this tuft of grass. It's just sitting up,
Like it's teed up?
absolutely
Is that what you'd
perfectly.
say?
Oh, you couldn't have got a better lie, and all around it was just like dirt. There was this one tuft of grass. So not that I thought much about it at the time. I just thought in my head, geez, that's lucky it landed there, not 2 centimeters to the right. So I knocked that within, a couple of feet, got that in. Got on the 5th tee, full well knowing I'm square, right? So by about that hole, I think Grego actually said something about me score, and I said, "Give me a minute. Like we're on the 5th hole, mate. Give me a minute. I'll fix it. Like in other words, I'll break me score somehow." And I did say I've still got the 7th hole to play yet, which, as you know,
Yes.
is just I hit it in the water there every single week, right? So I get on the 5th tee, and kid you not, I have absolutely nailed me drive down the middle of the fairway. He has bounced in the middle of the fairway and took a right angles bounce and ended up under that big gum, the last big gum on the left-hand side. So it was underneath that, it like dead. I couldn't even hit to the green. I had to kind of hit it sideways to get it
And
onto the
it's in all
green.
that loose stuff as well.
Yeah, and you just got no hope. So that kind of made me think, well, that paid for the lie I just had on 4. So it didn't phase me too much. I like as you know, you get on 5, you should be walking off with a par, right? So and I took a bogey there, and I'm like, oh, it is what it is. Doesn't matter. Parred 6, no problem. I knocked it just short, chipped it up to close, tapped it in, no worries. Got on the 7th hole. So as I've just mentioned, it's every week when I pull driver or a long iron or a 3-wood, or doesn't matter what I pull out the bag, I hit this massive hook straight in the water, right? So I'm like, no, I'm hitting 5-iron. So I took 5-iron out and just punched the 5-iron, and guess what? I hooked it, but luckily didn't go in the water. Walked off with a par. So first time I reckon I've parred that hole for I don't know how long. Hit a bad drive going down 8. Made up for it, got on the green, putted for par, and I left it short. Was straight in the heart, left it short, which was fine. Made bogey. So I get on the 9th going, all right, I'm 2 over, happy days. As we're standing on the 9th tee, I'm playing with Paul Rowley, I'm playing with Grego and Jackie Cowan. So we're on the 9th tee. Moose, Harry, Mitch, and Tommy are coming up from the 10th to the 11th to go and hit off the 11th. And Jack says to them, Pappa's 2 over the card. So they're like, bullshit, this is not right. It's 2 over. So anyway, on 9, I hit a fairly good drive, knocked it on to, I don't know, probably 15, 20 foot. It was a fair way away. Hold the putt for birdie. So there's your 1 over on the front 9. So I'm like, well, that's, a bit weird. Shot 1 over. I've never shot. Best I've shot around there is in a comp on a Sunday, and I've got the ball in front of me on the 10th of the 4th, 23. I shot 2 over on the front 9. And then I get on the back 9. I go par on 10. On 11, I hit down in the trees again. Didn't really have a great shot, so I had to try and knock one out when I knocked it at the back of the green. Put it on the green and then 3-putted. So that was the first time I 3-putted. So I took double on 11. Made par on 12. Bogeyed 13, 14. And I take that every day, right? For someone who plays off 14, or if I'm playing off blues, I was off 15 or 16. I'm taking that every day of the week, bogey 13, 14, right? So I get on 15. I've knocked probably the longest drive I've hit for the day. I hit 6-iron into the hole. Now, for me, that's pretty good. Usually I'm hitting 3-wood or driver for my second shot. So I hit 6-iron into the green, missed the green, chipped it to within a foot, made birdie. So I'm like, oh, cool. But
Back
to
on
be
the
honest,
bandwagon.
but to be honest, at this point, I wasn't really aware of me score on the back 9. And I think the reason for that is because I had doubled 11.
Yeah.
So I knew I was still a chance to break 80. So I was like, right, concentrate for the next 3 holes. I've only got 3 holes to go, break 80, and I'm going to be over the moon, right? So we get on 16 again, shocking drive. I hit a big snap hook out onto nearly onto 15, but it was in the tree onto 16. Sorry, yeah, 15. It was in the trees. So
So
again,
before the dam, you're happy?
yeah, it was before the dam. So I then punched like a little low 3-wood with a kind of a draw, which I tried to hit, but it went straight. But I absolutely nailed it. So I only had a 52-degree wedge into. I was in the rough on the left, but clear shot. Missed the green, so I put it long left, missed the green, and probably had, I'm going to say, 12 to 15 meter chip, maybe that length. Um, Again, I get up there, right, and the ball is just sitting on this beautiful patch of grass. So again, it's happened to me, right? So I'm like, okay, make the most of it, knock it close so I can at least walk off with par. Hit me little pitch shot, it bounced, rolled, and it never ever looked like missing. Went straight in the heart at perfect speed. So there's another birdie. So I'm
Called
like,
the
all right,
doctor. Dr.
yeah, so,
Lipinski strikes again.
yeah. And then I'm sitting there going, okay. So on the 17th tee, I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure I'm back to 2 over on the back nine, but I was not looking at my scorecard. I'd marked it, but I wasn't gonna, check out what the score was because I thought if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna fluster myself here. So had a really good drive up 17, knocked it to about, I don't know, maybe 8 feet, so behind the pin. So that was a hard putt. Um, and luckily enough, knocked that in again. So that was 3 birdies on the trot.
Hat trick. He's put a hat trick together.
I have. Considering, mate, I'm lucky if I have. I mean, every time I put $1 in the birdie school, I just stand there and go, it's just a donation because I'm lucky if I have one a week. So that was me fourth for the day. Got on the 18th tee and stupidly looked at my scorecard, right? To go, okay, I'm 1 over on the back and I've shot 1 over on the front. Biggest mistake. So I was kind of in between clubs. Do I hit 3-wood or do I hit 3-iron? What do I hit on 18? Because the whites were forward, obviously, right? So
You hit
anyway,
the
I'm
green
like,
and you went
I'm
long,
just
didn't
gonna,
you?
yeah, I thought I'll just hit 3-iron because I'm gonna hit me 3-iron probably straighter and not hit a big hooky 3-wood loop, which I tend to do with me 3-wood. So I thought I'll just hit me 3-iron and just try and knock it down there. And if it's short, I can pitch it up and hopefully one putt. So of course I hit this horrible shot and it didn't go in the water like the dam and to the right. It went to the tree just past there. And when I tell you I had no shot, I had nothing. I had to just chip it out kind of backwards because I couldn't even go forwards. It was dead up against the tree. So I thought, okay, that's fine. It's my own fault. I'm there. I'll chip it backwards. So I did that. Then I flicked up a 60-degree wedge. Was like dead in line with the hole. I thought if this has got the carry, it's going to be next to it. And it landed just on the front of the green. So I probably would have had a conservatively 25, 30-foot putt, if not probably longer. And just nailed it straight in. So I'd never, as soon as I hit it, I thought the speed's right. If I've got the brake and I've read the brake right, which I thought I had, never ever looked like missing. So dead in the heart, and that was a bogey. So it
So
gave me 38. So 37 front, 38 back, 23 points front, 24 back. Walked off the course in disbelief. By the time I got home, I was still in disbelief an hour later. Could not believe I'd shot 75 off the stick. I mean, I probably will never do it again. I'm hoping that I will, but the likelihood of that happening again, I think it's very slim.
so is it too early for me to call you my Smoky for next year's complete club champion? And
Oh,
I
mate,
can
I
just
wouldn't even bother because if I shot that, I'd probably shoot 90 the next week, to be honest. And you know what's funny though, right? The funny part is I knew after I made birdie on 15 that my score was going to be, for me, a good score, right? Now, I only played 16, 17, 18, so 3 holes where I really tried to concentrate and pay attention to what I was doing. Now, I birdied 2 of those and bogeyed 1. But when you look at the golfers and you look at the likes of Tommy, Harry, Garbo, both the Cowan boys, Mitchell, all these guys, and I'm sorry if I've forgotten anyone, but all these guys and Digger that play off low handicaps and consistently do it, it kind of gives you an appreciation for when they shoot those type of scores. We touched on Tommy before. We go, it's off gold tees. He shot 6 under, but you still got to get the ball in the hole, right? So it doesn't really matter what the tee he hit it off. it's still 6 under the card for 9 holes. So it gives you a different lens on it from my perspective to go, I've managed to shoot that in 3.5 years of golf or however long I've been back at the golf club. Um, and for them to be able to shoot that consistently in the 70s is pretty eye-opening, if I'm honest.
Yeah, like you say, as my dogs are going nuts tonight. Sorry, everyone out there in podcast land, but yeah, these guys, the level that they're able to consistently play at is is fantastic. And I always say to people, if you get the chance to go around with these guys, like you say, you get that real appreciation for what they can do. If they're in a bad way, you watch their short game absolutely drag them out of a hole. You know, their conservative approach, if they lay up, leave themselves the distance they want to leave. Whereas some of us are just trying to hit it as far as we can off the tee and then try to hit the next shot onto the green.
Mm.
Um, like they are managing each and every shot and thinking, how can I approach this? The pin's over there. I want to play a high shot in, give me a full shot. I want to leave myself 80 to 100. And they're leaving themselves 80 to 100 every single time. I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's a 20-meter gap. They're probably thinking 80, 85. That's where I want to be.
and you're right because, I mean, I've played with Tommy once and once only, right? Which because we just don't play at the same times, obviously, but the time I did play with him, right, he had an absolutely horror day with his chipping and his putting and still shot 3 over the card. Like, I'm walking around going, not saying anything on some of the holes because he was missing very short putts. But you realise then, like you're saying, but he's got his driving and his iron play absolutely dialed in. But it's just that one little bit of his game on that day that he was very frustrated with, which caused him to shoot 75. Now, if that had been me, like on the weekend, I would have walked off happy as Larry. But you then sit there and go, if he had all 3 or 4 parts of his game dialed in that day, he probably would have shot 68.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just amazing that they can consistently play at that level. And I mean, I've played with Dino many times, Harry many times, Jack many times, Garbo many times, and it's the same thing. One part of their game is kind of falls over, but they still go around and shoot 2 over or 3 over. And you just go, because everything else is so dialed in for them, but that one little bit has let them down. And when they do put it together, that's when you do see the, par the course or shot 1 or 2 under or whatever they shoot. It's really a credit to them because, like I said, that 75 for me on Saturday, it was hard work. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard work trying to shoot that, and to be able to just do it. I'm not saying they do it with ease, but do it consistently is a credit to all of them.
Yeah, that's it. I like to relate it to a table. You know, you got your perfectly square table, and for a lot of handicap golfers, your good days out where you're getting a flag on your GA handicap, almost all 4 legs are supporting the table really well.
Yeah.
For those really low handicap golfers, they are they've got this ability that if even if one leg's completely shut down, the other 3 are strong enough that yeah, they might not go round square with a card, but as far as a scratch score goes, we're not going to talk about handicap because we know that there are some people getting around there, like yourself, 47 points. But like 40 points is getting around a lot. And
Mm,
these guys are going out here playing off scratch, and they might still go a 3 over the card. You go
mm,
3 over the card is a fantastic day out. But because their handicap says they need to go square with the card, it can seem like a bad day.
mm.
But like you say, when you go round with them, it's a good round of golf.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's
Completely different world.
yeah, it is. Absolutely correct. And that's exactly what it is. It's a completely different world. And like I said, mate, that 75 for me, that was hard work, and it's my best score I've ever had at that golf course. I've never shot that ever at the
Now,
West, never.
I
So,
love I love a segue here, Pappa.
mm,
And we talk about big things. You've done a big thing there. 47 points. 75 off the stick. We're going to talk about another big thing happening. Pretty big.
yep,
Some
let's
people
talk about it.
some people might say it's pretty long. It's some people might even say it's the longest. What I'm getting at here is we've got the longest day tomorrow. I'm actually eating into beauty sleep here. I'm going to be out on course at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, putting my first round of golf in. So we've got 31 golfers tomorrow playing at Bacchus Marsh West, doing their bit for the Cancer Council. Now, right now, I'm looking at the page. Personally, the coach has got $878 raised. Now, the goal every year, this is my fourth year doing it, has been to hit $500. Cancer Council see it as a pretty good target, and if you can get there, like, kudos to you. All of a sudden today, we've jumped up, and I spoke with my wife. I've gone, there is a good chance we could climb to 1,000 or beyond. Um, the course the course is sitting at about 5,500. So between the other 30 golfers, we're talking almost another $5,000 has been raised. So for our club, and the Cancer Council is almost up to $2.5 million raised for this day. And we spoke about it at the Jared Day or Challenge Day, that so much of this research people don't understand is going on in the background until you're affected by it, and then you realize how much money and time has to go in to try to either find a cure or just to make some of these conditions livable.
Yep.
I know my cousin listens to the podcast, and I know it was touched on in a post earlier in the week. Obviously, I've had my own issues, but this week we found out my auntie, she was cancer free for 6 years. So she was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was back in 2018, or I think she was cleared of breast cancer in 2018. So went into remission. And anyone who knows anyone who's been through cancer understands that while you're in remission, you go back for your yearly checks. So she'd been back mammograms and scans for 3 years, and then just the mammograms for the back three. We spoke with her last Sunday at my cousin's baby shower. So she's expecting her second grandchild,
Yep.
and she had suspicions of I think it was a collapsed lung. She was a part of an exercise group and was really short of breath. So she went to get checked and got referred on to the oncologist. So straight away knew it was bad.
Yep.
My uncle and auntie both said they were going to give me a call on the Monday. So I hadn't heard anything, and I just all of a sudden a post had come out, and my heart sank. I called my uncle, and he just filled me in. Like her torso is now completely riddled with cancer, and they're going to treat it the best they can to try and get her to live out as much of life as possible. And my heart broke immediately when I heard it, and it's just that little bit of extra motivation for me personally when I go out tomorrow. So for those that haven't followed the post, this thing's supposed to be a 72-hole challenge. They shortened it because there was a few health concerns earlier on where people were pushing themselves too far. So they brought it back either 54 or 36, just so people's abilities. Because, like, you look at the Cowan boys, sure, they'll play 18 and then go out and walk another 18, no issues. Like, they're kids. Like, they've got all the energy in the world. But anyone knows that first round normally takes about 4 to 5 hours. The next round, because there's probably less people on course, you might be able to do it in 3. So you're still looking at about 8 hours to do 2 rounds of golf.
Yeah.
So the Cancer Council says their challenge is to get people to try and do the 72 holes. I've done it. This third year was last year, and last year I managed to string together six rounds. And those that were following my coach's page there, after 2 rounds, my brand new golf shoes that were white were pink with blood because my blisters had popped. And apparently, wearing brand new golf shoes for this day is a really bad idea.
And you didn't think of that prior, mate.
I put them on in the shop. I was like, these are comfy. They got this memory foam, good arch support. This is exactly what I need to get me through. But obviously, you just naive and forget about the fact you got to break shoes in. So they were destroyed day one. I had blisters after 1 round. Like I say, blood-filled shoes after the second. And Lenny and Mick McHugh were in the shop, and I said, I'm going to have to borrow a cart because there is no way I can get these last 2 rounds done. So I did the next 2, and then pieced together another 2. So I did 6 rounds last year. Took a few learnings out of it, and I thought, already knew that I was going to come back this year and go for something bigger. And I set myself the challenge to do 180 holes. So we're talking 10 full rounds of golf in one day. It's a
A
personal
lot of
challenge. It's
goals.
not just to take on the Cancer Council 72, but I said I'd like to really set myself apart from it, and try and do something that realistically, the more I hear about it and the more feedback I get from like local golfers at the club. I was down there tonight getting a few things ready. Everyone's like, "You're stupid, you're mad, you can't be done." I've actually got, not that we condone gambling at all, but there is a wager. God, there is a wager going with Gareth, and it'll be whoever makes the donation. Really, I told him I will finish all 10 rounds before 8 p.m. tomorrow night. If I do, he'll donate $100. If I don't, I'll put $100 in. We put in anyway, but I really think it is a big feat to give a go to. And yeah, everyone, you love golf. This is going to be fantastic. You're really going to enjoy it. I'm like, you have no idea what it is like to grit your teeth and play through when you're on a mission, really.
Yeah.
And the talk down there tonight was, you got other players on course. What are you going to do? I said, I might ring a bell, I might whistle, and you'll know that that's me coming through. Everyone's going to get a bit of a briefing, and I will be a steam train. There will be balls flying over your head. Well, actually, you're probably safest in the fairway. I'll probably be going in the rough or the trees. So if you hear that, just go right in the middle,
Yeah,
straight up the
stand in the
sprinkler
middle of
line.
the way, be safe. Yep.
No, it's good, and it's not about swinging hard. I really doubt I'm going to be using driver all day tomorrow. Like I've methodically thought about it and gone, I've got to be able to swing
Mm.
consistently to
Yep.
keep myself going through 10 rounds. So, if you're listening to this podcast on your Friday morning, if you tune in to either my golf page, or if you're friends with me on the Facebook, there'll be updates posted at the end of each round. Get behind it. Your donations are tax deductible. It's the same as a challenge day. Like, I went to town buying stuff and donating for the Jared Day, knowing it's going to a good cause.
Yep.
And again, more research. I'm all for trying to make everyone's life a bit more comfortable. And once something like either cancer or leukemia has affected you, you are so much more inclined to get behind these days. But I'd say don't wait until then. If you do something now, you might actually help prevent that day from coming. So,
Yeah, exactly.
that's my little spiel for the longest day. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I say,
like
we
I
had
say,
a
we had a
$500
$500
goal.
goal.
I really think we're going to crack 1,000. And if people see how much effort's going in tomorrow, and if we were to hit 2,000, my God, I will be absolutely astounded, as well as the club, like with everything going on. Little shout out for the podcast too. Rainer Real Estate have kindly, really kindly donated some hydration for tomorrow in the forms of like Gatorades and water for all the participants. Big things. So we obviously want to be sun smart out there. Got to stay hydrated, and we're going to end up being fed as well. Second shout out goes to Champions IGA in Mattingly. I went down there today and saw the manager, Karen, and everyone will be like, Karen? Like, I'm telling you, great Karen. Like, not the Karen you would expect. She was fantastic. Um, and the kind team there at Champions IGA have donated sausages and bread and a whole, I think it was like 4 buckets of salad, right? So
Wow.
that once we've finished our round, we're going to be fed, we're going to be pretty well hydrated. And this shows what businesses really, like, they're supporting all this. And I
Yeah.
think if the community as a whole get behind it too, and Bacchus Marsh is great, the club's great, everyone's getting behind. Most recent donation that just popped up on my feed then was Trev Corliss. We just spoke about him on the podcast.
Yeah.
So we talk about golfers getting behind golfers, but getting behind a good cause, most importantly. So that'll be my little spiel for the longest day. Tune in tomorrow, or if you're listening to this Friday, tune in, see it go down, and we'll see if I can get it all done before 8 o'clock and enjoy some barbecue while there's some daylight.
And I think just to your point, I mean, it's a huge effort to do it, mate. So, honestly, good luck with it all. I mean, I know I'd be doing 36 and it'd be me cooked, but anyway.
Oh,
But
not if you're hitting 75 every round.
but I think the biggest thing, and you touched on it there, is it affects nearly every family, right? I mean, I sit here, and as I was listening to you, then I started thinking in my head. I mean, I've lost three 3 family members through cancer over the years. Potentially, I think it actually might be 4, but it's 3 for sure. I've just had my father-in-law go through treatment for cancer, for throat cancer, and it was extremely intensive treatment, and it was horrible for him to go through and horrible to see. Luckily for him, he's come out the right side of it. And then I sit here again and go, my auntie was the same. She's been diagnosed multiple times with it, and to your point, she was on the last treatment she had was a trial treatment. So the last chance they actually gave her was as a trial. Anything else ain't going to work. This might work, and it worked. And that is where the funds go. That you're doing tomorrow goes to the trials, the research, all these people that go into the laboratories and do that hard work and are extremely underfunded to come up with something that I can still talk to my auntie because that's what they've come up with. And that's what all this hard work that you're doing, the team, the golf club, all the businesses that are donating, that's what it goes towards tomorrow. So good on you, mate. Great cause. Good luck. Good luck to everyone else involved. I will try and come down at some point just to see how you're going if work permits. But if I don't, I hope you get that 100 off Gareth as well.
No, I appreciate it. I really do. And like I obviously talk about how it's affected me, and obviously to hear the way it affects you, it goes on, like we say, the trial treatments and the research. But just hearing you talk about it, knowing that I've only just been speaking with Cancer Council about where the money goes as far as research and labs and teams and things like your story gave me goosebumps. And I know my wife can overhear us recording this podcast now, and I'll make a second pledge right here on the podcast.
Yep.
Get your mates together. If we get my personal total to $2,000, right, and Goosebump raising $2,000, I will go out in my week of leave, which is conveniently straight after this longest day. I've taken the day off into leave to do it. I will go out and get myself a Cancer Council tattoo, permanently ingrained on me. Everyone will see, and I will continue to do the longest day as long as my body will let me. So
Where
let's
are you
get.
getting it? Who's doing
Oh,
it? Who's doing it, and where are you getting it?
so I'm going to say now, my favorite tattooist, Chris Humphrey. A little shout out here. He gets a plug on the podcast. So I actually coached his boy, Miller, and he's an awesome kid as well. And he gets a shout out. Good on him. I reckon I will have to get it on. Well, I'm going to say under my right bicep.
Perfect.
So I've got, everyone knows I've got a couple of diamonds there. If you have a look under my left bicep, there might be a tattoo of a frothy. But under my right bicep, I will secure a place if we can get that total to 2,000 for the Cancer Council logo right there, yellow under my arm.
All right.
Let's
So
get behind
everyone,
it, guys.
yeah, dig deep. Chuck your money at him. I want to see the tattoo.
All right, now that's enough on longest day until we get another podcast and we talk about the results and possibly a new tattoo. I actually wanted to talk about Sunday. We had presentation day. We talk about winners and grinners all the time, and like, my God, we talk way too much about the Woods family, so I almost want to skip over it because they get too much praise. They do good stuff, but my God, did they clean up? But there's so many repeat winners, and we got Kira's dad, who's a B grader for 7 years in a row or something like that now. Like, he's never leaving. But yeah, let's go through some of this presentation day. I know you wanted to talk about it really, and like really got to celebrate this year's end and the achievements these golfers have made throughout the year as far as board events and everything. So I want to hear from you for presentation day. Take it away, Pappa.
Yeah, look, I think it's important. We're not going to go through every single winner, but I think it's important to acknowledge that all the people that won either board events, which there are multiple of, all the club champs, either net or gross, one or the other for A, B, C, and Tommy, who was our club champ overall. To a golfer of the year, that's awarded as well. It's a really good day for everyone to get to the club, celebrate the winners. We obviously did the AGM, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. We'll talk about the celebration of the winners. there was quite a few people there on the day. And I think it's just great
Hello?
to be able to hand out
Good
the
yourself?
trophies for all the board events, all the champions,
Yes.
because we get the $20,
Player of the year, I think it is.
$25, vouchers on when we win comps and stuff. But the board events are the
Yeah.
big ones, right? Club champs are the big
Yeah.
ones. So congratulations to all the winners on it, and it is
No, I
a really
haven't
good
been
day. So
to-
make sure everyone next year get down there and enjoy the
Yeah.
day. Have the free barbie, listen to the AGM, the committee,
$50.
vote who you need to vote in, and then presentation. So, and just on that, we're gonna have
No,
a
I
bit of
already
a
got
chat to
box of
someone
balls for it.
today on the podcast that has been actually won an award, Zach, on Sunday. Was
Yeah, I got a
presented
stock
with
up on golf balls.
Golfer of the Year, I believe. I think that's what they call it,
Do they
Golfer of
call
the
him
Year.
Golfer of the Year? I believe.
Oh, I nearly did on Wednesday.
The title come down to, was it back to back? No, that was Tommy, club champion. Yes, this one here was also a back to back Golfer of the Year.
I think it's
Let's introduce yourself.
based on the most consistent player of the year.
Muted himself. He
So,
doesn't
like,
know he's in yet.
He's in. Here
not
he is.
finishing
Boy, how are
last
we?
all the
Golfer of
time
the
and
Year, is
having
that
like
what it
the
goes
most
on?
consistent score. Like, so
Does it go
playing
by
to your
Golfer of the
handicap.
Year or what? Golfer of the Year. So
And
is that Player of the Year? There you go. And is that 2 years in a row? Wow.
The school is like player.
Not for Sundays, and I
Little
don't
smoocher.
think for Wednesdays. I think it's only Saturdays.
What did you get?
Possible.
50. And what's it going towards? Is that going towards a carry bag?
Box of balls.
Burns a hole in his pocket.
7.4.
Oh, it does, mate. That's kids for you, isn't it? I love it, though. I love it.
Ah.
Why, are you shanking him into the seventh dam like Pappa does, or what's going on there?
No.
So let's talk about Player of the Year.
I can have a look.
How do you become Player of the Year for those that don't know? Like, let's talk us through it.
All right. So,
and that's in every comp, though, isn't it, Jack? So it's like if you're playing a Sunday, a Saturday, a Wednesday, is it in every?
So, on the 6th of Jan, so that was my first comp for the year.
Saturday.
I was off 11.8.
Okay.
So you're the Saturday specialist.
Clearly.
Possibly. All right. So
years in a row, possibly.
Yeah, Player of the Year. Now, I'm curious to know, your handicap right now is what? 7.4. And where was it at the start of this year? Were you up around 27, 28? Was that you? No?
I'm going to say, Jacko, I'm going to say about 12, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon about 12.
Well,
when I reckon I came back,
it depends how often I can get out. So, say if I'm at the Wells's,
maybe 11.
Shout out to Wellsy and Nons for letting me stay over for Tuesday nights for playing Wednesdays. If it's that, I'm probably out there about
12 months has dropped his handicap by 5.
2 o'clock, and then I'm there
for those
chipping, because my chipping is horrible at the moment.
Oh, here we go. What was your starting? That's good to hear.
And I'm probably out there. Yeah.
There you go. I wasn't far away.
So he's actually dropped 4 shots. Now, we talk about realistic expectations. To be the best player, most consistent at Bacchus Marsh West, he's dropped 4 shots over the course of a year. So when people, and like this is no skin off Josh Greaves' nose, he's like a unicorn. We've also got James Williamson, who's now cracked under 32. So super stoked for those two boys. But we talk about people going, oh, I want to be a single figure golfer. To get there and maintain it requires so much hard work. How often are you practicing at the moment, Jack?
It might. You never know. I witnessed very good golf from Pappa. Yes.
All right. So you get a good little bit of practice in. And you say chipping. It is one thing I swear by.
I
Short
was
game
just
saves
getting there,
shots.
Pappa. It was actually very good.
You're hearing it from Player of the
Wasn't
Year,
it a
who's
one
practicing
bounce
his
dunk?
chipping to drop shots. If you want to sit in there and hit driver 100 times at a driving range, go for it.
Yeah.
But you want to save shots and lose your handicap and play more consistent golf, short game. So you get it from the coach, you get it from Player of the Year, and you get it from the rage monster at the moment that is the return of Pappa.
I'm always in.
Short game, guys. Short game.
Hey Jack, while you're on, let's just can we go back to how good Saturday was? What did you witness Saturday? We've already covered it,
wasn't it, Jack?
Yeah, I've already covered it, but I'm trying to talk myself up a bit here because I know it's not going to happen again.
Funny story. Yes.
Really? Because from what I heard, he found himself in the trees a lot.
There's a couple of times I was in
drives.
Yes, I did. Yes.
But and I love your story. Love hearing from Jack because it really bounces back. What was happening, Pappa? You were punching shots out greenside. Short game.
Yeah. How good was that? How good was that chip on 16, Jacko?
I love it.
Oh, a couple of ounces, and then it just went straight in the middle. It never looked like missing, did it?
No. Flag in or flag out, it was always dropping in the hole.
Oh, 100%.
Now, Jack, are you looking forward as Player of the Year?
Yes, we are, and I reckon since it's Mitchell's last year of pennant, so I'd say Mitchell can do the work.
I know you're in the seniors, well, not seniors like old people, but as in you're in. You made the team, and I think were you playing scratch pennant
this year? Depends who's not emotional
shoes or something like that,
and who has been consistent all day.
Yeah, funny story. I was there and couldn't believe it.
Yeah, not how
you were going to play in Crocs, and there was a whole thing. So we talk about Player of the Year. He's still got to work on his preparation game. I've been witness to it, carpooling everyone down there. But I know that we got Jack in the junior pennant side this year, and that was just released. So they've released round 1. I think it's like the 2nd of February or something like that. Now, because you're Player of the Year, are you going to try and headline the junior team, or are you going to let the brother take the reins, or you reckon Mitch? I think this is Mitch's last year as a junior. Like who you think is going to lead the team out to the Bacchus Marsh anthem? We are the champions, because we're going to win this year. For those of you listening, we are taking out junior pennant this year. We're bringing the flag home. So he can lead it out. Now, if it comes to a playoff hole, who's going to play the playoff hole?
I was waiting for him to say not Harry then.
I thought that was going to come out. I was fishing for it.
I was waiting just for a not Harry response.
Nah, it's one thing I'm looking forward to. Obviously, being a bit more involved in the juniors with everything going on at the club, and I've loved seeing all you kids come through. And you obviously played scratch pennant with me this year, and Tommy and a few of the other boys that were there. And it is so good to see kids playing in men's pennant, because a few of the guys look and go, "Oh, come on, what is this, play school?" And then they see these boys get up and stripe it, and they go, "Well, maybe I'm in for a little bit of a match here." But they definitely give it a crack. And we're talking about how much better these golfers are getting. Yeah, we know, Pappa, you want to stick it to them. But as far as representing the club, they are at a level to. They're not boys anymore. They are ready to represent the club as young men. And we talk about we got Kira. As far as women's go as well, she was C grade champion this year for women. She's playing good golf. She took out the women's the kids handicap or net or however it is. She took that out. So we've got great juniors coming up, and that's why I'm very, very passionate that we are going to bring that flag home this year. I'm excited. I feel like Big Kev. I'm excited.
And the
Jack,
thing is
saying
too,
that before your time.
you got to remember too, right? It's when we were talking about this earlier, Zach. It's the consistency that these kids play at, right? So you'll have Jack come off the course and go out and play well. Harry's the same, or Mitchell the same, or whoever it may be. But they've still shot 80 or 79 or 76 or whatever. It's the consistency that's there.
Yeah, they are doing some really good stuff now. I'm going to use Jack and his experience as a junior as a bit of a segue here. I've had a pretty busy week. Last night I had a meeting with the Golf Foundation for the Girls Scholarships, which we started running this year, our first year, and we talked about the successes we'd done as a club and a few of the challenges. And they actually put our club up on a pedestal, and I was super proud to be able to say that I got to bring these girls into the spotlight. They are definitely highly looked upon, and they have approved us to run another scholarship program this year, which I think is fantastic for country golf and Bacchus Marsh as a whole. We are a volunteer-run club, and our juniors are on the map. So we got scholarship funding again this year, and we've just launched our school holiday clinics. So they've just been announced, and if we have any listeners of the podcast that think they want to see, I don't care if they're boys or girls, get some golf clubs in and come give it a go. We've got a 5-day course running from the 18th of January to the 22nd, Saturday to Wednesday. It's going to be fun. We're going to get kids exposed to different areas of their golf game. If you've got clubs, doesn't matter. We can accommodate everything. But what we really want to see is we have expanded girls in the club. I've had a bit of a hand, and Ruth mentioned it at the presentation day. I've had a bit of a hand in the ladies' clinics and getting ladies to come across and become members and be a bit more involved in the club. And now we've got junior girls like Tia and Kira and Chloe. They're coming right, and Harper, little Harper. I can't forget about her. She has got this fantastic form. She's had a great coach, I've heard. But
he's got a good little swing.
It's amazing to see what they've done, and that we're getting recognised on an Australian scale for our club for what we've done. So if you have, especially as much as I don't want to sound biased, but if you have any girls, granddaughters, sisters of people that play golf that they want to come and give it a go, we're happy to give them a run, see how they go through the school holiday program, and potentially have the ability to grant some extra scholarship places to get girls coming down and enjoying golf. And like Tia, if we had her as a special guest tonight, she would almost be able to speak about her experience as a golfer, as a part of this group. And it's not just about playing golf, but it's about building the friendships and relationships that keep you wanting to come back. So I'm a massive advocate. So we've got the school holiday clinics, and as soon as the pennant side is, or all the schedules up, we'll release term 1. But if anyone registers their kid, grandkid for that school holiday clinic before this Sunday, Golf Australia will give you 20% off. Use the code XMAS20, one word. There's a little plug for the clinics there. But school holiday clinics, 20% off, XMAS20, and you can find it through our page. Now, I wanted to know, before I jump into it, Pappa, we've been going for just on an hour about there.
Yep.
Have you got anything else you want to touch on, or are you ready for a bit of a knee slapper?
You can go with your joke, and then I'll close out, and we'll let Jacko go, but he can stay right to the end.
All right. So it's good that we've got Jack here. I've been seeing Jack play golf for a very long time now. I've been down at Bacchus Marsh for 5 or 6 years now. I'm going to take you back to this one school holidays. I was out with him, and I reckon we were out on the second tree line between 2 and 16, and he looks at me, and it was a bit of a moody kid. I think he was about 10 years old at this stage, maybe thereabouts. He was a bit emotional, and he looks at me. He goes, "Zach, can you stop checking your watch? It's really distracting me." Obviously, he'd never seen it. I told him, I said, "Sorry, mate, this is a compass. I'm trying to help you find the hole."
They're getting worse, Jack. If you know, rate 1 to 10.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And Jack, the problem is Jack won't. He can't remember it. It's you can't remember it because your name was just inserted here in said joke. But no, I tell you what, it's been great to have you on, Jack. It's been great to talk about great causes. Great to talk about juniors in the game and the future of our club. And obviously, the return of Pappa. It is fantastic to have you back out there, striping a golf ball and getting your name to the top of the leaderboard. So to everyone here, to Jack, congratulations on Player of the Year. To Pappa, 75 off the stick is absolutely amazing. Congratulations to you too. And everyone out at the West putting all these 40-pointers in. My God, I don't think I want to return to golf with all this going on. But clearly, everyone's listening to the podcast. They're having a good time. And I reckon next episode, I want to hear some analytics before we go onto a full Christmas break. And happy golfing, everyone. You sign us off, Pappa.
Thank you, mate. No, Jacko, thanks for jumping on for a few minutes, mate. Very much appreciated. Zach, good luck tomorrow. Going to be a massive day, but like we spoke about earlier on the podcast, if you can donate. It goes to a great cause. Cancer touches nearly every single family in the world and Australia, and just make sure if you've got a few bucks, whatever you can spare, jump on the page, donate, goes to a great cause. Last thing I'll add, we will do a podcast next week at some point. I'm thinking, Zach, I'll talk to you offline, but I'm thinking probably Monday, even possibly Sunday. But we'll organise that. That will be the last one for this year. And then we'll organise some new ones in the new year, but we're not too sure about that because I'll be away for a bit, going away with the family for a while.
And you've got to train me on how to use this software.
Yeah, and we have to have a little training session. So the idea will be Zach and Gurk will jump on for a bit. Potentially I'll jump on when I can, when the internet's not too bad down there, which is not often. But we'll try our best to keep it rolling over January, and that way we can just kick off again in the new year and consistently have some really good episodes and some good listening for everyone. So I hope everyone enjoyed the episode, and we'll be back with one more before the Christmas break. So thanks for joining, and thank you, boys.
Happy golfing, everyone.
Thanks, guys.